I'm Vladimir Sidoruk here with your Mountain Cat Entertainment Report. The Writers Guild strike is now causing companies to outsource their shows and move elsewhere. CBS is making a deal with Canadian CTV to produce Flashpoint, a police drama that will film in Toronto using Canadian writers and actors. The show will air on both American network and as well as Canadian TV. Guillermo del Toro seems to be inching closer to be directing the Hobbit movies after Trade Magazine's The Hollywood Reporter announced he was in talks with New Line and MGM about the project. Del Toro's name has been bandied around for a while in relation to the Tolkien adaptations, especially after the Man himself spoke of how highly he regarded the book in an interview with MTV last month. Peter Jackson will be working on the film, but he will not direct the picture. Death Cab for Cutie guitarist producer Chris Wall is making the media rounds promoting his new solo project Field Manual, which releases Tuesday on Berserk Records. Wall is also preparing the new Death Cab album, scheduled to hit in May, which he says is a fairly drastic departure from the popular indie band's more recent efforts. A game based on the Saw movie franchise is in development. Scheduled for release in October 2009, the game will weave in and out of the Saw movies' plot lines and will be an incarnate collaboration between the development studio and the filmmakers. As now, the game will be released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 console systems. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I'm Vladimir Sidoruk, and back to you in the studio.
Hours after Poconos Casino owner Louis A. DeNapoles was charged with 4 counts of perjury yesterday, the State Gaming Control Board indefinitely suspended his slots license and ordered him not to set foot on his property. Board Executive Director Ann Neve said Mr. DeNapoles cannot be present at the casino, which opened in October, and cannot profit monetarily until the charges filed against him have been resolved in court. Mr. DeNapoles, a wealthy, prominent businessman in northeast Pennsylvania who owns the $400 million resort, is charged with lying to the state gambling regulators during a pre-licensed background investigation about his relationship with 4 organized crime figures. He will voluntarily surrender for a preliminary arraignment by the end of the week. The charges came barely after a year the state allowed the first slot machine casino to open in Pennsylvania. All of the monetary profit that Mr. DeNapoles would have received from the casino in the coming weeks will be placed in an escrow account and either returned to him if he is cleared or kept by the state if he is convicted. The state receives 55% of the gross gaming revenue from each casino in the state, and the owner receives 45%. Gaming board officials will travel to Mount Airy today to meet with his officials to outline how the casino will be run for the next few weeks or months until the charges are adjudicated. Mr. DeNapoles cannot enter the Mount Airy property and cannot exercise any control over the casino until the charges are resolved.
Stay tuned after the break with Weird News with Kristen.
And now let's send it over to Kristen Badu, who's standing by with Weird News.
I'm Kristen Badu here with your Weird News for the week. Our top story tonight. In Philadelphia, a nurse admitted to stealing parts from 244 corpses so they could be used in unsuspecting patients. Lee Cruchetta faces sentences of 6.5 to 20 years in prison. Cruchetta was part of a stolen body part ring that trafficked more than 1,000 parts. Ringleader Michael Mastromarino, a former oral surgeon, would pay funeral directors $1,000 per corpse and sell the parts to tissue banks. These parts could cost $10,000 apiece. Mastromarino also waits for trial. These body parts are suspected of being placed in about 10,000 unsuspecting patients. Many of these parts were diseased as well. Also, one of the bodies used for the parts was that of Alistair Cook, the former host of Masterpiece Theater. On a lighter note, if you're interested in flying in comfort, why not fly in the Buff? That's right, German travel agency Aussie Urlaub is taking bookings for a day trip flight from Erfurt to Usedom on July 5th. The plane holds 55 passengers and each seat costs €499. Passengers are to remain clothed while boarding and exiting the plane, but are free to bear all while in the sky. Managing Director Enrico Hess told reporters that he does not want this flight to be considered a mid-air swinger club, but just a perfectly normal holiday company. This next story may interest those with a sweet tooth. Godiva Chocolates revealed an all-chocolate room in Manhattan on Tuesday. The room is made for a contest. Whoever buys the box of chocolates with the winning ticket wins the room. There are a few don'ts with the room, though. You cannot light a fire in the fireplace, and sitting in the easy chairs is not recommended. On a final note, Tom Brady is considered one of the top 10 hottest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Yeah, I don't understand why either. I don't see it. I'm Kristen Badu, back to the desk.
Thanks, Kristen. That's all we have for you this week. We hope we've made your college experience just a little bit more enlightening. I'm Heather Yeager.
And I'm Lindsay Yost. Thanks for watching.